doing today? My name is Steven Rosenberg. This is Ginzburg. Welcome to Marketing Success in Under 10 Minutes. We've got a phenomenal show for you guys today. Jean, how are you doing so far?
I'm awesome. As always, really super excited to be doing the show with you. And today we're going to talk about being comfortable with being uncomfortable. Getting comfortable
What
with
does
being
that
uncomfortable.
mean?
I'm glad you asked, Stephen, because we're going to talk about how that relates to entrepreneurship and how it relates to running a business. And I can start off, and then of course I want you, Stephen, to come up with any ideas or examples that you have and share your thoughts. But what I mean by that, taking a step back, is really in order to be an entrepreneur, we have noticed, and I think a lot of people have said that across the board, is that if we're doing the same thing, then we're not really pushing ourselves, or we're not pushing our business. And so,
right, exactly.
A lot of times, when we come from the corporate world, we're kind of comfortable in the things that we were doing. We had our tasks, we had our daily routine. But as entrepreneurs,
right,
things change a lot. You have to run your own business. You have to find clients. I mean, there's a slew of things that you have to do as an entrepreneur and as a business owner. And in order to really drive your business and stay competitive, you have to try strategies that might make you uncomfortable. One of the examples I can provide in my experience is doing videos. So I've been doing videos at this point for a couple of years now. But in the beginning, when I first started, I was very uncomfortable. I mean, it took me a while to get to the point where I actually started doing videos. I mean, this probably was 6 months or so before I even started recording videos. And then as I started recording videos, I was very uncomfortable, but I got better and better every time. I got better equipment. I got better at speaking. I got better at creating these shows. And day by day, time by time, it got progressively better. It didn't happen overnight. And as we all know with the entrepreneurship, nothing is going to happen overnight for us. It's always going to be a steady and slow process.
The grind.
So what about you, Stephen? Can you provide an example of a time in your entrepreneurial journey where you were uncomfortable?
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, I think the video example is a really great idea, or great example, because, I don't think a lot of people are naturally excited to be in front of a camera. And if you do have that talent, then kudos to you. But one thing that for myself was getting up and speaking in front of clients and all of their employees. That was a big hurdle that I had to overcome. I've always been good at being able to interact and network with people, a whole room full of people, but when you have to get up and really give a presentation to educate people on what I was doing, like a recycling system, and I have to do it for these entire plants, 120 employees on 3 different shifts, that was a major hurdle that I really had to get over, because, I really had to take control. And when you have all these employees that, know their business and all that stuff, you have to be able to, on the fly, interact with them and answer their questions and do all that stuff. So that was a hurdle for me, but, I think you nailed it perfectly, which is you have to continue to practice. If you don't continue to practice, you lose that ability to be really fresh, really on your toes. And that's something that's very, very, very important in anything that you do. It's all about the grind, and it's really about continuing to improve, because nobody is perfect. And if you think you're perfect, then you're in some really big trouble. That's kind of my opinion on it.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of examples that we can provide on what it means to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. I mean, for example, networking, a lot of, it might be you, not you, Stephen, but our audience,
right.
Some of our audiences might be not very comfortable at networking and maybe never did that in their corporate job before they started an entrepreneurial journey. And so getting out there, going to networking events, meetups, or conferences, that's the best way to start networking. It's really just taking the first step. And I think also what I want to address is the fear that we might sometimes have in actually taking the next step. And I think a lot of times once we actually take that first step, things don't seem as bad, but it's actually just going over the cliff that really makes us, I think, doesn't even allow us to take the first step. So think about that for a second, where maybe just even doing the first thing in the process might allow you to fear it less or get more comfortable with it. So for example, one of the things I've always heard is like going to the gym, right? A lot of times we might not always be very apt to going to the gym, but one of the things you could do is just like put on your gym shoes and put on your gym clothes and just go to the gym. Don't do anything. Right. Don't even do one exercise. But the first day, do that. Go put on your shoes, your gym shoes, your clothes, go to the gym. Then the second day, put on your gym shoes, put on your clothes, and then maybe stretch for 10 or 15 minutes. And the following day, and then just as you get to the gym every time, you just get more comfortable with being there, and then after a while, after a week, you're like, oh, this is totally cool, like, not a big deal, I'll go for a run on the treadmill for 30 minutes, absolutely. So I think just taking the first initial baby step is also a really big piece of it.
You start training yourself, you train your body with the discipline of actually going, and then, continuing to do it over and over and over again.
So yeah, we think, I think that it's all part of being an entrepreneur, is to be, in order to, again, stay competitive, you really have to be uncomfortable with certain things, but it's always important to take the next baby step. So any other last thoughts? This is going to be a short video, but impactful, I think.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. I thought we really covered a lot of grounds, and it's good to hear from other people what their experiences have been, and if there's any hurdles that they're encountering, we'd love to hear about it.
Absolutely, yeah, we'd love to hear your feedback. What are some of the hurdles you've had in the past as an entrepreneur, and what are some of the advice that you can provide to our audiences, just to everybody in general who is an entrepreneur, that allowed you to take that next step and to be successful at it? Because again, everybody thinks that success is overnight. It's really not. Let's think about, let's say, for example, people who are in sports, people who are musicians. They come on stage, or they come to the to the field, and they're awesome. But that's because they've been doing this for 10 years every day for the last 10 years. So they're going to be really awesome at it, but we only see the product of what's been going on for the last 10 years. We don't actually see what's been going on every day, and like the work that they've been putting into it. Same thing with entrepreneurship. It's not going to be an overnight success. It just takes time and practice and energy and putting your foot forward. Yep,
it sure does. All right, well, thanks so much for joining us, guys, and we can't wait to see you next time.
Thanks so much for watching. We hope you'll continue to get involved and join us as we help you find success in your entrepreneurial journey. Please follow, like, and share with others who will find this beneficial. We'll see you on the next episode of Marketing Success in Under 10 Minutes with Stephen and Jean.